When do we want it? Now! What do we want? Contract! When do we want it? Now! What do we want? Contract! When do we want it? Now! What do we want? Contract! When do we want it? Now! What do we want? Contract! When do we want it? Now! What do we want? Contract! When do we want it? Now! What do we want? Contract! When do we want it? Now! No contract, no peace! No contract, no peace! No contract, no peace! What do we want? Contract! When do we want it? Now! What do we want? When do we want it? What do we want? Contract! When do we want it? Now! What do we want? Contract! When do we want it? Now! What do we want? Contract! When do we want it? Now! What do we want? Contract! When do we want it? Now! What do we want? Contract! When do we want it? Now! No contract, no peace! No contract, no peace! What do we want? Contract! When do we want it? Now! What do we want? Contract! When do we want it? Now! What do we want? Contract! When do we want it? Now! What do we want? Contract! When do we want it? Now!
What do we want? When do we want it?
Now!
When do we want it?
Now!
Right now?
Right now!
Right now?
Right now!
United Steelworkers who've been on strike here for over a year. It's an absolutely disgusting situation when a multinational corporation can come in to a city like Toronto and treat hard-working men and women in the way we've seen them treated. It's an absolutely disgusting, and we are here to say one more time to Crown that we need a decent contract. We need it now. We need it for the younger generation who's coming into these jobs. We need it for the workers who are presently making this the best company to produce cans in the world. These people, these men and women, have gotten awards for the quality of their work, the quality of their production, and they've been treated like absolute dirt. It's unacceptable, and we are here one more time to say that we are sticking with these workers until we win, till each and every one of those workers is back in the job, till there's a decent contract that they feel that they can accept with the dignity and respect that they deserve. And I want to first introduce to you to speak today Marty Warren, who is the Director of District 6 of the United Steelworkers, who's come out to the picket line today. So please, a warm reception for Marty Warren.
As Carolyn said, first of all, thank you very much, and Andrea, thanks for coming out. I've seen Liz and a lot of her folks here, and we want to thank you for being here. It is we wish we weren't here to acknowledge the year date, but it has been a year where, again, as Carolyn had said, you know, we had workers come to work every day, do their best, make this plant one of the best in the chain, if not the best. And then we go into contract bargaining, and it should be a time where we acknowledge the good deeds of the workers, acknowledge the hard work, and instead what do we have? We have just another multinational company trying to exact exact concessions on us that they don't need, only because they can. And again, from our perspective as steelworkers, that's why we belong to a union, that's why we fight back, that's why we say no. And I just want to pass along the support and the encouragement we get from those strikers, from their courage to stand up for themselves and stand up for working people. Because be clear, it's not just your fight, it's everybody's fight. It's a fight because if they get away with it here, they'll try it somewhere else or down the road. So it's not only a fight for the 130 members we have here, it's a fight for every working person across Ontario. And on that front, I do got to say that the way this has been managed in terms of, from their perspective at the bargaining table, every time we go back, every time we meet them at the bargaining table to find a reasonable solution, we get confronted with more concessions and more takeaways. And since that, the last one, it included a list of who they'd take back and who they wouldn't take back. And I believe the list is small for those that they're willing to take back. And again, that's not acceptable, nor should it be for any Ontarian. When you stand up for your rights as working people to take a legal strike and to put your viewpoint forward, and they come back with only allowing several or very few of the members back to work, that's wrong at the get-go. And since then, as you've probably heard, it's my understanding you had a membership meeting last week. There was an update. We have filed the unfair representation around bargaining, unfair bargaining. We're waiting for a resolution on that. I believe we're going to be successful. That'll drive them back to the table and make them bargain a fair deal. On top of that, I do want to tell you that I did spend some time with WIN's Chief of Staff last week. We talked about the strike. We'll continue to talk about it this week. We've offered some times to chat some more. And I do want to tell you, I'm leaning on them to say, when Ontarians are in trouble as they are, how can you sit by? How can you sit by the sidelines? How can you not intervene when a multinational, international company comes into Ontario and forces concessions that they wouldn't even ask for in many other places, or they're concessions that take good paying jobs that you can raise a family, own a home, and retire in dignity, and turn them into jobs that our future kids won't even be able to do exactly that. Raise a home, raise a family, and retire in dignity. So with that, I want to let you know that, as usual, as I've said before, we are fully behind you. We know it's a difficult strike. We are doing everything on the international front to put pressure on them through our international campaigns, and we'll continue to do so. So again, to those striking members, I just want to thank you for the courage you've shown. It's a fight for not only this place, it's a fight for all working people. And with that, I want to wish you the solidarity from the district office and all the steelworkers from our international union. Solidarity forever. Thank you very much.
Thank you very much, Marty. Thank you for those very encouraging words. Our next speaker is going to be the leader of the New Democratic Party in Ontario, Andrea Horvath. Please. Thank you, sister.
Thank you, sisters and brothers. I have to say I am here not only on my own behalf, but on the behalf of the Ontario NDP caucus, as well as New Democrats across this province, who stand shoulder to shoulder with you in this struggle for dignity, for decent wages, and for working conditions that provide dignity for you and for your families. It is shameful that in the province of Ontario, a protracted strike of this length continues to take place. There has to be in this province a labor relations playing field that has some fundamental fairness to it. And we are not there right now in the province of Ontario. And if we were there, the members that are on the picket lines in this group today would not be on the picket line anymore. You'd be back at work, you'd be earning your paycheck, you'd be taking care of your families, you'd be paying your mortgage, and you'd be having a decent quality of life, which is what you deserve and all Ontarians deserve. I want to say to you this. Your union has kept us in touch, the NDP caucus in touch with your struggle. We have talked about this a number of times at our caucus table, and we are behind you 100% when it comes to getting an agreement from your employer. We know that there are workers like yourselves in workplaces across this province who are being told by their employers that no matter how hard you work, and no matter what value you bring to the employer, and no matter how much you are recognized for your labor, they still think it's okay. It's okay that when it comes to collective bargaining, they can try to extract from you concessions. They can try to justify in some way that all that work that you put in that helps them to turn massive profits somehow does not need to be shared. And that is not right, and that is not fair, and that is not the kind of Ontario that we want. We want an Ontario where those who contribute have a secure future for themselves and for their children. And so I'm here proudly to stand with you in this struggle because it is the right struggle, and it is a struggle that clearly shows what it means to be able to have dignity, to be able to have fair wages, to be able to have a decent work life, and to be able to share in the wealth that's created by working people. So keep up the struggle, sisters and brothers. We will be with you on this fight, and we will do everything we can to support you going forward. So